And then we have, instead of Trail of Anguish, which we use on Scourge, we have Well of Darkness, which is blockable, but it's still a lot of damage and applies blindness and chill on each pulse, which is really strong. 2 conditions every second, and chill and blindness are really cancer condition. And the damage, as you see, is 3200, and the Well of Suffering is almost 4000, so the damage is quite similar. On the elite skill I took Plague Lens. I don't really love it, but the others are completely worthless. Summon Flesh Golem, it will die in 1 second. The Lich form, it's useless, I don't know. So yes, like when you would drop a Ghastly Breach on Scourge, if you play Scourge, you now can drop the Plague Lens. It's a pulsing well during 10 seconds. Each second adds a new condition, so, and does some damage each pulse, but it's quite low. It can be obnoxious, but nothing super strong. On Axe, I'd recommend to hit the second spell on downheads, so they can tank it all, they don't move out. Or when commander asks for single target focus, then Unholy Fist is the strongest spell in the game. You use it, and around you hit 5 people, and if they are below 50% HP, it triggers another explosion per target, which hits other 3 targets, and the damage of the second explosion is similar to the first explosion. So it's a huge damage if you use it to clip down the people around you when you don't have anything, or you're panicking, you can't focus a target. You don't need the target, you just pressed it and you hit like a truck around you. On Staff, the most important skills to hit are Putrid Mark. It's the 4th skill, which is a huge damage and is unblockable. Also it removes condition from you, it transfers condition from you, so if you are blinded you still hit it, because the transfers happen before the damage, so you transfer the blindness and then you hit, so it's really, you can't miss it. You always need to hit it on 5 targets, as it is unblockable and you can't blind it. So then we have Staff 5, it's some CC, some nice CC. Staff 2 and Staff 3 are used as fillers and also to fill up the carapace stacks. The auto attack is almost worthless, you can use it on some ranged occasions for the life force. It deals also some damage, but it's a projectile and they can reflect it or block it with warrior bubbles. It is really nice because it pierces, so yeah, you can hit almost like 5 targets, but nothing so strong. And then we have on the Shroud, spell 2 and 3 are almost worthless. Spell 5 is really huge, you can use it, and there are some bindings attacking your enemies and inflicting torment and immobilize at the end, and at the end you also gain an explosion around you, which deals damage also to the untethered target. So it's really strong. You can use it, like I would use it when you enter Shroud, you press 5 and then you attack with your 4, so the skill 5 keeps channeling and you don't have to do anything. Like you press it and as you enter Shroud, and it keeps going even if you exit it, and then you cast the life transfer, which is the best skill you have to do damage. It's 5 targets around you in 9 pulses, and you can move while doing it, and you always hit the 5 closest target to you. So it's not like the wells, you drop the wells and they move out and they don't hit anymore. You can use like you enter Shroud, I don't have life force now, but you enter Shroud, you have enemies here, you press your spell 4 on Shroud, they move, you follow them and you keep hitting it, and also the damage is really strong, and does have a really low cooldown, because his Well of Suffering is 30 seconds and this one is 21 thanks to the Soul Reaping trait line. And as you see, you hit like a truck. And also this X3. Okay, let's discuss a bit the precision. Here I have 48 and 18%, 80%, which summed up with Fury is 68 and 80%. Then you have 33, which gets you to around 102 precision, but I have major bloodlust, so with minor you are around 101, something like that. So this build is really fun to play. It's tanky because you have a lot of toughness. It's 600 when you are at 30 carapace stacks. Then you have also protection. You have the Shroud, which is a second life, as you see is almost 19,000. So, and then the damage is really strong because you can't miss your spell basically. Like the Shroud 4 is a unique skill. The Reaper 1 can be kited. Also the auto attack from Reaper can be kited. This one you can't kite it unless they stun you. So the gameplay is like you see enemies from far away, you drop your staff 4, you try to drop some of your wells. I would recommend focusing on hitting the Well of Darkness and the Well of Suffering because they're the most damaging. If you have time, the enemy is quite AFK, you can drop also the Well of Corruption before entering Shroud, but this will mean the enemies will move out from your previous wells before you enter Shroud, and the mechanic is to drop your wells before entering Shroud, because when you are in Shroud you get 300 ferocity, which means 20% more damage, which is huge of course. So I would basically, if we got some enemies running here, I drop this, then I expect them to come around here, I drop my wells there, I enter Shroud, skill 5, 4, the 5 is still going, the 4 is going, I exit Shroud, then I don't know if the enemy is a bit far away, I can drop the other well. When I get close you need to use X3, and then you can swap to staff again and see what you have ready here. The skill 4 is the one we talked about earlier, and you need to hit it, huge damage. It usually is top 3 skills here, which with Well of Suffering and Life Transfer, and then repeat. When you have Shroud ready, you can use it again to boost your other wells with the Death Perception, and to use skill 4, 5. Auto attack can be reflected and also is low. I don't recommend using it unless you have to feel you don't have anything else to use. So yeah, the food, I recommend the Dragon's Breath Boons, unless the commander drops the 10% damage reduction, and then the Potent Superior Sharpening Stone as the Scourge build I provided in the other video. That is all. Thank you for watching.